I'd like to introduce Chuck Dransfield. Bring him up.
Hey, hi
Hi,
Joyce.
hi, Chuck. How are you today? How's the weather
Doing
in
good.
Los Angeles?
Oh, we're getting washed away here. It started suddenly about 2 o'clock yesterday, and it has not stopped. Literally nonstop rain and very hard, intense rain. We've been
Good.
getting warnings on our phones. Don't go outside unless you have to. Avoid the roads. Flash flood warnings. Just another day in paradise in Hollywood
Just
here.
another day in paradise. Yeah, we're in California where it never rains in
Oh,
California,
it
right?
never rains in Southern California. Man, it's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
until it does. Well, Chuck, today I've got your astrology chart, your
Okay,
natal astrology chart.
Joyce,
And
I'm
I've,
so
I've,
excited.
I've been looking at it. I've got it here too for me. I've got little things on here. It's a little bit bigger, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen,
Please
and then we
do.
can start talking about Chuck
Okay, I've
and
been looking.
his astrology. Here we go. This
Alright,
is the first time I've tried this, so let's give
okay,
this a try.
yeah.
There we are.
Here we are.
Okay, now it could be a little bit bigger, but hopefully people can see this. This is the way the sky looked when Chuck was born. So if you took the whole thing and we're viewing
Yeah,
it from the earth. So the earth is right here in the center.
okay,
Right there in the center. That's the earth. And we all know that things don't revolve around the earth, but this is the way we view it.
okay.
Okay. So if you took the whole cosmos with the earth in the center, all the Milky Way, all the stars and the sun and everything, and just kind of went whoop
Yeah,
and brought it together so that it was, just on a piece of paper, this is what it would look like.
that's
Now, in
great.
an ephemeris, we also have latitude and longitude for each planet. And so
Okay,
you can have things where maybe your Venus is so high up that Venus is what we call out of bounds. Now, I didn't go ahead and look to see if you had any out of bounds planets, but uh, for a complete astrology reading, I would do that. I would
okay,
see if you had any planets that were stationary direct,
yeah.
which makes them more important. I also, I might be able to see that here, although I don't think my server lets us know about that.
Yeah. No, I
But
I love this so far.
yeah, and so this is what your chart is. People say, "Well, what is this right here, this AC?"
Uh-huh,
This is your ascendant. And what this means is at the time that you were born, this is where the sun was rising. This was where the sun was rising, where
okay.
you were. So, you can look at this as being sunrise.
I
And
love it.
as you go up in the houses, you get all the way up to here, and I don't want to be seeing. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. I have a small image here, but I can see it.
Right up there, it says MC.
Okay, that I
That's
don't
your midheaven, and that would be noon.
okay, alright,
So, and then as you go again, you get down here to where it says DC,
okay, and
and that's where the sun is setting.
oh,
So that was a sign where the time that you were born, where the sun was setting.
oh,
Your midheaven is where the sun was at noon. And then down here at your IC, that's where midnight occurs. And then you can keep
I love
going
this.
all the way around up the chart. Do you see a bar up above in gray?
A bar up above in gray. My
Yeah.
image is so little, I c
Okay, you would see it. I'm the only one that can see that. That's okay.
okay,
That's good.
sure.
Okay, so at the time that you were born, the sun was rising at 11 Taurus. So you have an earthly ascendant. And why is this important? Because your ascendant sets up your chart ruler and
Okay,
it sets up the timing in your life for certain things.
alright.
Okay. And all of us have all 12 houses, all 12 astrology signs in our chart. All of us have all of the planets in our chart. All of us have a part of fortune. All of us have a north node, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But this is basically it for everyone's chart, except this is your personal chart.
Okay.
So the sun was rising at 11 Taurus. Now, what does that mean? Well, Taurus's ruler is Venus.
Yeah.
So when I look at your chart, I think, oh, so his chart ruler is Venus. So that means that this guy, he's just a sweetheart.
Aw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really likes people.
I
He
do.
he
I do.
likes he likes beautiful things.
Yes. Yes.
Not necessarily about how much they cost, but of their value,
Yeah.
their intrinsic value.
Yes.
He
Yes.
he likes he would probably like a house that was warm and inviting.
Oh, yes. I'm very much a Cancer in that respect. Very much
Yes.
my home.
Yes. Oh, there you go. So
Very
now
much.
I'm going to look to see where Venus was when Chuck was born. And so I looked down at his chart right about here. Can you see where I'm pointing? And there's Venus. That's the glyph for Venus.
Uh-huh.
And guess what?
What?
It's right next to the glyph for your sun. So,
Okay.
Chuck, when you were born, Venus and your sun and the sun were in cahoots.
Yep.
They bounce off of each other.
Okay. When you say in cahoots, is that good or bad? I'm
Oh,
not
it
sure.
can be both, but it could make you want more things or whatever. But no,
Yes.
I think because they're both positive signs,
Okay.
they're
Good.
both positive planets, that
Right.
this is good. This is really good. Gives
Okay.
you a really wonderful disposition.
Aw.
Yes. And
Thank you.
so your ruler was in the sign of Cancer.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Venus in Cancer. Okay, so now I'm going to look for Cancer. Oh, well, there's your sun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there's your sun in Cancer. And
Sun
so
is
I'm going to think, well, what is the ruler of Cancer? The ruler of Cancer is your moon, and it's up
yes.
here in your ninth house.
Okay.
Your ninth house is, you like exotic things, Chuck.
Yes, I do.
And I'm sure that you have people that are you're friends with all over the world, because this is a sign about your foreigners,
Yes,
exotic things,
that's
and
true.
also your secondary education, meaning not meaning high school. This means college.
Yes, I am a college graduate.
Hmm. And you were serious about that. You have Saturn in that house as well. But here is the moon. And the moon, it rules Cancer. And so I'm back to your sun. So
Uh-huh.
that's about it. So, and Venus is conjunct your sun. So this very nice chart, Chuck.
Well, thank
It,
you.
yes, it's really easy. Now, I also looked at this and I thought, oh gosh, last time I looked at it, I didn't look to see what kind of a chart Chuck had. But gall darn it, Chuck, you know it's really good. It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
You also have a bucket chart. So if I were to flip this chart, you can see that here he starts off with Saturn. That's Phallus. That's an asteroid. Starts off with Saturn, and he goes around, and he doesn't have anything. He's got the part of fortune there, and he's got his vertex here, and he's got Neptune there. He's got Pluto in his north node,
Yeah.
and he's got Uranus, Mercury, Venus, the sun, and that's it. So guess what that looks like? That looks like a bowl, doesn't it?
A bowl. All right.
It's like a pail, like that's the bottom part where all the planets are.
Uh-huh.
And there's one opposing planet, and it's Mars.
Okay.
Now Mars is also it's conjunct your ascendant. So it makes it very important. It's a very important planet, and it's in your first house.
All right.
So generally, having Taurus on the first house means that you have a pleasant appearance, that your people can tell that you come from the heart, and you've also got Mars there. So that gives you a little bit of masculinity as well. So you're a masculine looking person, and you have a lot of energy.
Yeah, I do.
And people that know you think, oh yeah, Chuck, he's always busy doing something. He's busy, busy, busy. This boy,
That's
he
me. That's
is.
me.
He's really, you know, got a lot of things going for him.
Oh,
So yeah, so I looked at that, and I do know that your Mars is. I already know what the esoteric meaning of a 12 degrees Taurus is. And this is what would be the reading for your esoteric reading for Mars.
Okay.
So with Mars and Taurus at 12 degrees, that makes it 13. And the picture in my head is a porter carrying heavy baggage.
All right.
Yes. So what does this mean? This means that your Mars came here and you're doing a lot of this work because you've got a lot of things to accomplish in this lifetime, Chuck.
Yes, I always feel that way. Always feel that way.
So as you go along in your life, your job is to get rid of some of that baggage, to work through it, to make sure that you've covered all the bases
Okay.
and that you've been your authentic self. Now, the second house in your chart, the second house is ruled by Taurus, actually, but your second house is in the sign of Gemini. And so you value communications, you value art, you value
Yeah.
the written word as well.
Yes. Yes.
The publications and articles and
So me.
whatnot.
So me. Yeah.
And you also could be a little quirky, and it's a double sign, Gemini.
Yeah.
It's a twins.
Uh-huh.
And so some people might say, well, you have a lot of values, but some of them are kind of superficial.
Yeah.
And that's okay, Chuck. That's okay to
No,
have some
I
things.
think that's true for
You
all of
got
us.
a deep enough first house here. You don't need to be, gosh, you got to liven up. So this kind of livens you up a little bit, Chuck.
Okay.
Okay.
Gives me a little quirk.
It makes you a good communicator. Why? Because you value communication.
I do. I do. Communication, the written word, visual art, all of that is important to me.
It's also the sign, your second house is also your values. And so those are the things that you value as well.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You have a lot. And some of them might be considered superficial.
Uh-huh.
Maybe one of the things is that you have to have your front window clean or something. I don't know. Something that someone might say, well, I'll get around to it. I'll clean that
Yeah.
window someday.
Yeah.
It might be something that's superficial.
Well,
And all you need to do is go and clean it. And, it's not a big deal to other people, but for you, it is.
right. And I think sometimes that's where over perfectionism comes in for me, where I'll worry about little details like that don't really matter.
Yeah, don't sweat the small stuff, as they
Just
say.
the small stuff, yeah. But I am guilty of perfectionism.
Now, in your third house is your early childhood education, short trips, your brothers and sisters, your cousins,
Yeah.
things like that. And you just have a love for your family, and
Yes.
especially your brothers and sisters, if you have any.
Well, I
No,
have
I think you
one
have a
sibling. I have a
sister,
sister who's like my best friend in the world.
not, yeah.
Oh, she's been a force in my life since day one. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that shows that, yes. So you were a lucky boy to be born there and have such a wonderful sister to
Oh
help
God.
you, guide you through life.
Yes. Yes, she has guided me through life. She's 14 years older than me. So she's been almost like from the very beginning, almost like an adult presence in my life.
Well,
A very strong
she
adult.
had a real live baby to play with.
Well, she did. She
Yeah.
did. I mean, she told me as a teenager it was a little embarrassing because she worried people thought she was an unwed mother or something carrying me around, and she'd have to say, "No, this is my brother, my baby brother." But I've always been deeply bonded to her. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now in your fourth house, down here. Not your fourth house is the house that you live in now. It's
Yes.
the house that you were brought up in. It's your family home.
Okay.
And it's one of your deepest things. This is your core. This is where you're coming from. It's
Okay.
from your fourth house. It's you, the real you that's in there.
All right.
And in there, guess what you have? You have Mercury. And what
Yeah.
is Mercury all about? Communications.
Yes. Yes.
And Mercury, actually, if you look up here, you can see that they're kind of got a red line. So Mercury is conjunct your Venus, and Venus is conjunct your Sun. So it was an easy step for me to say that you really value communications, that you
Yes.
value your family, because really deep down, you're all about it. You're all about those communications.
Very much so. Very much so. I feel that's where I am in my life at this moment. You and I both are on this same path with these
Mhm.
with our YouTube channels and so
Sharing with other people through
yeah,
communication.
yes.
Now, you have two signs in your fourth house. It starts off with Cancer, the deep feeling, sign ruled by the moon. But also, you have Leo there, and so you're proud of your beginnings. You're proud of your family home and your family.
Yeah.
You're proud of the house that you live in right now.
Yes, I
You
am.
make you make the most out of it. And some people might think it's a little bit unusual because you have Uranus there, but deep down, that's part of it. You like to be a little eclectic.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. I
And
couldn't live my life any other way.
now having the sun there, I started off saying, well, maybe he has some room in his house or some part of his house that's a little watery. There could be some water there where you have some blues and whatnot. But I would assume that most of your house is deep colors, dark red, yellows, and things. You like vibrant colors.
I do. Yeah.
And
I
it
like
doesn't
nice
mean that there won't be some deep things, but in general, your house will be like a place that just welcomes people.
thank
Mhm.
you. That's what people tell me when they come here. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Now in your fifth house is right here, and it starts off with Leo,
Uh-huh.
and it goes into Cancer.
Okay.
So you've got Pluto in Cancer, and you've got your North Node in Cancer. And they live in your fifth house. Your fifth house is all about um, your romantic, your dates and people that you're interested in, and um, your fun times, the things you do for fun. And
Yeah.
gosh, you like peak experiences for fun. But that's fun for you to have something that's really Plutonian.
Now, could you explain that, please?
Yeah.
A peak
For
experience.
example, it might not be enough for you to just go see a movie. You want to go to the premiere.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're like, I like to do things in a big way. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of okay because
Yeah.
that's one of the things you came here to do some of that. Now
Yeah.
there's your north node, and people say, well, what are these nodes? Well, those are the I don't let me know if you don't understand this, but
Okay.
the north node is the ecliptic point. So those are the points in your chart
Yeah.
where you're going to find eclipses of the sun and the moon. Now you
Okay.
have a south node, which would be the moon, and you have so this would be an eclipse of the sun. The sun would have to be at 17 degrees of Virgo to have an eclipse at
Uh-huh.
this point. And there's no eclipse in your chart, no.
Right.
But that's why it's an important point
Okay.
because that is where the sun would be eclipsed, is at 17 degrees
Okay.
of Virgo. Into your sixth house. This is your house of everyday work, people that you see a lot. And it's also the sign of your health.
Okay.
And in here you have your vertex. Your vertex is your destiny, kind of thing. So I'm looking at this. It's in Libra and a little bit in Scorpio up here. So you've got this Libra thing. So somehow in this sixth house, behind the scenes, you're always trying to balance out this sixth house. Your
Okay.
friends, what you do for work,
Yes.
uh, trying to you're very particular in what you do. You like things to be good and
Mhm.
exact and true. That's the Virgo part of you. You like
Yeah.
to be able to look on a paper and make sense out of it. You're trying to
Yes.
balance that with this up here where you have your Neptune. Neptune is like looking through a glass of water.
Okay.
It distorts things.
Hmm.
It's a water sign, and it happens to be in Scorpio. Okay. So, Chuck, um,
Yes.
you're balancing these things that are unseen, that can't be seen clearly, with those things that you can put down on paper and make a list about. You're
Okay.
balancing those things out all the time. behind the scenes. You don't even know you're doing it. You're doing it all the time.
All right. Okay.
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 And I'm looking here at your Neptune in Scorpio, and it's in your sixth house. So I would say you probably have some kind of concerns with allergies of or something with prescribed drugs, or
Mm,
possibly that was an interest of yours
yeah, because I
that you
don't
did every day. You worked at a pharmacy, is that right?
well, I worked in health, nutrition, vitamin, making nutritional programs for people, working with supplements. Dr. Whimsy Anderson trained me to be a licensed naturopathic doctor's assistant. So maybe that's what you're picking up on.
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah.
For me, I have Neptune in my sixth house, and I'm allergic to a lot of prescription drugs.
Yeah. I mean,
Things
I
that
don't,
other people can take, I can't take. It's like I have a headache and someone says, take
yeah,
an ibuprofen. It's like that's
I
death. I
don't have
can't take
allergies
anything
that
like
I'm
that.
aware of. I mean,
Huh?
there may be something, but nothing that really
I
comes
can
up.
think I can think of 4 things that you better not give me because
Yeah.
it could kill me. So, like,
Yeah.
if I'm having a heart attack, please don't give me an aspirin. You'll just finish me off.
Oh my God. Yeah. You might even need to have like a little medical alert
I used
bracelet.
to have a medical bracelet I wore all the time
Oh,
because
but
I'm allergic to penicillin as well and other things.
right. So you feel that this could just be referring to my own background professionally, which
Right,
is
yeah, because it's in your 6th house. It's
okay.
in Scorpio,
Okay.
and, I can see that you've got a really busy 6th house. You have a lot of interests, but that was
Yeah,
one of them. And
I think
you
a
were
lot of
trained. That's interesting that you were trained for that.
yes,
Now
sometimes
on
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say sometimes my focus gets diverted because I do have so many interests, and it's sometimes hard to just pinpoint one thing and stick to it.
Well, you were bound to have more than one profession, so there you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Now
me.
in your 7th house here is Scorpio, starts with Scorpio and ends with Sagittarius. And you have your this little symbol right here, the circle with the cross, that's your
Uh-huh.
part of fortune. So,
Okay.
and it's at 18 degrees, I believe. I'm going to look here. I can't
Oh, I
read that.
wanna hear this one. My
It's at
car
19, it's at 19 degrees of Scorpio. So I thought, well, that might be a good one to read.
Oh, yes. I think
Okay.
that's a very good one there.
19 degrees of Scorpio.
Yeah.
And what this says is, it says, a woman draws away 2 dark curtains, closing the entrance to a sacred pathway. I'll say that again.
Okay.
A woman draws away 2 dark curtains, closing the entrance to a sacred pathway.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, the revelation to the human consciousness of what lies beyond dualistic knowledge. So, Chuck, you came here to find out about that pathway. Someone's closing it, but you see it there. You can see that it was there, and you know that.
Now, I'm not sure if I understand you say someone is closing it. You mean presently, or this has happened
No,
before?
this is the image that you want to get in your head. You've got this person, and you see these dark curtains, and you see this woman closing them. It's not the woman exactly. It's the fact that you see the pathway, the sacred pathway, and you
Uh-huh.
see it. You see it there, but it's been closed off.
I
Most
wonder
people can't see it, but
wonder if
you
it could be my
can.
mother.
That's an
Yeah,
interesting thought.
yeah.
Um,
Lets you talk, I don't wanna
and this is what it says here. It says the woman within, the faith that is rooted in the deepest intuitions of the soul. It's seen here as the Hierophant, unveiling the realities which the either or, pro and con, mind of man alone cannot perceive. The path to the mystic's intuitive life.
mm,
And the key word, plunge ahead into the unknown.
okay. That's what I often feel I'm doing right now.
Okay.
But I mean that in a very positive way, like, it's very
Yes, you're here. Your part of fortune comes when you embrace your intuitive life.
yes.
You know where the path, you saw the pathway, you can see it. You know that it was closed so that everyone can't see it, but your part of fortune is here to unveil that.
Okay, okay.
Um, okay.
Hmm,
Plunge ahead into the unknown, Chuck.
mhm.
Don't be afraid.
Feel like I'm
Now,
doing that
also,
every day right now.
the seventh house is I love to tell people this. The seventh house is your partnerships, people that
Yeah,
you work, that you're in partnership with. It's
yes.
also your house of open enemies.
Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
this is gonna be interesting.
Well, I don't know who that happens to be, but you might run into somebody that is one of your, but they're your enemy. You can see them.
Yeah,
They're
nobody I
open.
can think of at this moment in my life, but
Well, you probably have had some people there before.
oh, yes.
Now, your eighth house is starts with Sagittarius, and in your eighth house, you have this little guy right here. This is Juno. It's an
Uh-huh,
asteroid, and this is Jupiter. That's the glyph for Jupiter, the great
okay,
beneficent, and they're both in Sagittarius.
yeah, okay.
Okay,
So that
and
means
so the eighth house is your house of people always like to abbreviate sex, death, and taxes.
uh, okay,
Things that are inevitable. Things that are inevitable, like taxes and death. I'm not
yes.
really talking about that. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you die or anything like that,
yeah,
Chuck. But
right.
you have two planets there, and the Great Beneficent. That's a good thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell
it means that probably, Chuck, you're going to have something very beneficial come from somebody, maybe an inheritance, maybe I don't know, but it's going to be grand, and it could be more than money. It can be the inheritance of something even more precious than that.
okay,
I don't know. I don't know what that
soon
is, Chuck. I
gonna
can't tell you, but
happen?
I hope it happens for you. I hope you
Well,
experience that.
how soon is this going to happen? Does it say?
Well, no, it just says that it's bound to happen.
I need
And
it
you might find
now.
this is that as the sun goes over Sagittarius of that degree, you might
Yeah.
have little things that come up that, oh, all of a sudden you find $20 in an old pocket. Or, it could be a
Oh,
small.
I hope it's more than $20 in an old pocket.
Yeah, but
Oh, like,
I'm just saying,
"Oh,
yearly
$1,000,000
you're gonna
check,
always
so
have
happy
something
about
happen. And then
that."
in your 12th house, Chuck,
Okay, my 12th house.
um, you've got Capricorn. And
Uh-huh,
in Capricorn, you've got two planets, and they're pretty big planets. You've got the moon in
yeah.
Capricorn, and
Uh,
you've got uh, Saturn in Capricorn.
really? Really?
They're up there at your house of foreigners and your secondary education. We talked about that a little bit already.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, you've got Phallus there, who is the warrior goddess.
Okay.
Okay.
So those
So
are the 3
in
major
that house of secondary education, that was probably when you really started coming into your own and you were very serious about getting your degree and learning all that you could about your major and
yeah,
starting doing something with that.
yes.
Okay. Now we have to kind of keep going here. And you're in your at your midheaven is at 25 degrees of Capricorn. So
Okay.
in your 10th house of profession, you probably look like a very stable person, and because of Capricorn, you want to rise to, it's like that the goat is climbing the mountain.
Yes.
Gradually, you're going to be doing that. And you also have Aquarius in there. And so I'm looking at as gradually, Chuck, you've been climbing that mountain. And right now, I do know that there's some planets that are coming in that just came into Aquarius. One of them is the the is Pluto, and the other one that just joined it is Mercury, which is one of your planet of values,
Right.
Remember the communication?
Yes, yes.
So you might have some prophetic, some kind of, might personally be for you, some kind of prophetic communication that you get the message of something. Another thing for you is that right now, I think there's going to be coming out some really deep secrets, from the
On me?
United States. No, no, not necessarily for you,
Woo,
but for you, phew. But
woo,
you might find some deep secret, but that's going to be personal for you. But for all
okay,
of us, I
for
think
all
we're
of
on yeah, for all of us, we're going to be all finding out something that was so buried that nobody even dreamt
well,
that it's something that it was possible. And I'm sure that's got to be on that political scene.
I would imagine so.
Now, in your 11th house of friends
Yes.
and hopes and wishes,
Uh-huh.
you've got Ceres, who is the Earth Mother, and Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And the wounded healer is at 1 Pisces, and Ceres is at like at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So that Earth Mother was there to take care of she was your friend in some ways.
Yeah.
Um, and this point of Chiron is the wounded healer. You're able to help others with their wounds, but you've got a wound that just can't quite heal,
Yeah.
and so your goal is to help people. That's what you can do. You can help other people, and then as far as your own wounds, that'll help heal your own wounds.
Okay. Okay.
So
I understand what you're
you
talking.
might you might have some friends that you can relate that to. People that
Yes.
were your friends that you were able to help, and by helping them, it helped you.
Yes. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And now in your 12th house, this is your house of self-undoing. It's the house of the unconscious, the subconscious, and the cosmic conscious. I keep forgetting to mention that when I talk about the 12th house. In there, you've got the same thing where you've over here in your 6th house, you had Libra that was in the background. Here in your 12th house, you've got Aries in the background. And the
Okay.
ruler of Aries is Mars. Okay, so somehow I'm looking at this and I keep thinking, well, he's also got Taurus in there, and he's also got Pisces in there.
Uh-huh.
And so that is a very broad 12th house. Now, just because you don't have some major planet in there doesn't mean that it's not important. It
Okay.
just means that you're going to energetically, because you've got Mars in the first house in Taurus.
Yeah.
You're going to energetically under I don't know, you're going to start understanding things that are in your 12th house. This is also your hidden enemies.
Uh-huh.
So you might have some Aries people that mm, maybe you don't realize that they feel competition from you. It doesn't necessarily mean they're your enemy and they're going to stab you or
Right.
something. It
Right.
could just mean competition.
Right. I realize that can have different meanings. In fact, my darling little Sasha here, she's an Aries.
Oh, she ended up being your master, right?
Yes.
Your
Maybe she
master.
maybe she's in competition with me because she has her own channel now. So
Oh, yes.
she's
Oh,
running
she's so beautiful.
a
I
small
so miss my
stream
kitty.
account.
Well, Chuck, we've gone for a half hour. Was that even more?
Oh, this has been incredible. I mean, Joyce, I mean, I'm just captivated. I could listen to you for hours and
I
hours
could probably keep going on for
and
hours, but we
that.
we want to try to make this short because you know what's going to happen.
Yes, we know
I'm
what's
going to be on Chuck's channel
uh
tonight.
You said it
Chuck,
before I could. Yes, at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, Chuck's captivating chat. My channel is Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. Joyce is going to be my special guest, and we're going to resume the chart because you have more to tell me.
I do, and I went ahead and I've drawn up Chuck's solar return for his next birthday. And I've also done a progress chart for Chuck. And I
I'm
also did
so
one where I can
excited.
show all of Chuck's planets and how the planets that are in the skies right now are affecting Chuck.
Oh, I just can't wait. I just cannot wait. I mean, it's what, 4 hours from now, I'm gonna be counting the
I'm excited.
minutes.
I can't
Yeah.
wait I can't wait to do more. Well, thank you, Chuck.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Joyce, I mean, you're so gifted at what you do. You're so brilliant. You're gonna be so successful, and I am so proud to call you my friend.
Oh, the
We
feeling's
could
mutual,
talk
Chuck.
forever last night on the phone. I
Mm,
just
the
love you.
feeling's mutual. Well, don't
Thank
forget to like and subscribe to my channel.
Yeah,
Um,
my channel too, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, and
and mine is Mystic Soul Insights. And I hope to see you guys
yeah.
again.
Should I give
Well,
one
Chuck,
more plug for Sasha?
oh,
Sasha's
yes.
Science Secrets. We just started her own channel too.
Well, I can't wait till I get a kitty so I can have a kitty's
Oh,
channel.
yes. We were talking last night. You've got to get another cat. You know, there
Yeah.
I believe there's a special cat soul out there just looking for you, waiting for you. I
Oh,
do believe
God.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
send energy out there so that I'll find this
I
kitty.
will. I will. Well,
All right. Well, bye,
thank you
Chuck.
for
I'll see
having me,
you
Joyce.
later. Be
I'll
good
talk to you
while
later
I'm
in a couple
gone.
of hours. Okay, bye, Joyce.
Bye,
Thank you.
Chuck. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Can't wait. Well, wasn't that fun? I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And I hope you're learning more about astrology by watching me delineate people's charts. Until I see you again this evening on Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, I want to thank you for being a part of Mystic Soul Insights. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember the cosmos within you is waiting to be unveiled. Bye bye.